Okay, sorry, I'm working off my phone, so I guess I have to just keep redoing these videos when my space run out. But I'm back with part two of that thing that everything on the planet is not human. And so what we left off in, as I was saying, is that they try to trick everybody right now with movies, the Men in Black and Independence Day and all this Apollo stuff and these space movies, and this and that and the other, you know what I mean? Because they want people to believe that anything that comes out of the sky is a threat to humanity. Okay, but here's the thing. How can it be a threat to humanity when everything on the planet ain't human? So if something coming out the sky, it ain't no threat to humanity. It's a threat to mankind. It's a threat to them individuals that are kind of a man, that's portraying themselves, that have blended and mixed themselves up with humanity. And so they are the ones that be in fear. But remember, it was their children that taught men how to extract the metals from the earth to make weapons of war. And so now all of these weapons of war, satellites been put up in the sky. For what? Why are satellites up there? Because these beings came from outside of our dimension. They know that the Most High is going to show up sooner or later. And so they didn't put all of this stuff out there, you understand what I'm saying, and created all of these weapons down here as a means to try to fight against them. And they trying to trick humans that believe that the Father reigns in heaven. They try to trick the humans into thinking that anything that comes out of the sky is a threat to humanity, and therefore they will have you join all of their armies and everything and gather over there in the battle of Armageddon to fight against what's coming out of the sky. But ain't no aliens coming out the sky. They say aliens in all of their movies and everything else as a means for people not to understand the power and credibility of the scripture. They know who they are. And so the same thing that they've been doing throughout the earth, hiding themselves and changing their names and cloaking themselves, they doing the same thing now, because ain't no such thing as an alien. We know that they are fallen angels, and we know that they have a mixed seed on this earth. And we know that the Father is coming back to judge for their wickedness. And they know it too. But the greatest thing that the devil ever wanted to do was be like the Most High and have his creation to fight against him. And boy, look at it happening right now. Look at it happening right now. And see, it is pure evil. Like the Messiah said in John 8:44, he said, you are of your father, the devil. His work you will do. He was a murderer and a liar from the beginning. Well, what did Cain do? He murdered his brother Abel. And then when the Most High came asking about Abel, he lied about it. Am I my brother's keeper? I don't know where he's at. That same spirit is in the earth right now, this day. And right now, white people, black people, Hebrews, and Europeans, the different faction of Esau, that Nephilim spirit, that seed of Cain, has us fighting each other. He said, because in his mind, he's saying, you know what? If we get them to annihilate each other, well, there won't be no need. There won't be no need for God to come back. And by default, we'll inherit the earth. So I know some of these things sound far-fetched, but I mean, look at the life you living. Look at the air that you breathing. I mean, you just wake up, you know what I'm saying? Go outside, it's daylight. Wow! Don't that seem like a fairy tale? You walking around here, you breathing on air. Where it come from? Who is it? Who's responsible for it? You look at the dead man, what happened to his air? I still got mine. What happened here? See, don't none of these things seem real. And so the only thing that we need to understand is that these people stand behind the scenes and they pulling the strings of humanity like puppet masters. And all because we ignorant of what the scripture have to say about a particular thing. We got to understand is that the scripture is going to be true, and every man is going to become a liar in the presence of the Most High. That's period. That's point blank. It is what it is. And so you know what? They got tanks rolling into every major city in the United States of America right now. There is a difference between white supremacy and white privilege. Okay? White privilege is that, okay, in some cases, you got a privilege because you're white. You know what your privilege is? Some of your ancestors may have benefited from slavery and may have money. And so money, when you have money, you have options. And if you have options, that counts as privilege. So you may have some privileges, more privileges than the average, Hebrew. However, white supremacy is something totally different because it means to be supreme and white. Now, the white people that have white privileges because they white, because most of their people own everything, so that gives them a little privilege. But when you're talking about white supremacy, you're talking about these people I'm talking about now, and they are supreme over everything. And these people are going to stamp out the ones that have a so-called white privilege. They're going to stamp out anybody. They're going to destroy everybody. They got you destroying each other. And so they don't even care, period. You go through any of these places right now and you catch one of these Jews and they'll tell you right off the bat that they hate white people. They hate European people. They don't even consider themselves the same, even though they are the same, but they got a different they got a different blood running through their veins that makes them genetically different, even though they of the same ethnicity as far as, their character makeup go. They still white, but they got different blood running through their veins, and therefore they're genetically different. So they hate that. They hate that. They hate the white. They hate the white man. And they seeking to destroy him right along with the Hebrew because they are the seed of Satan, period. And that's why the Bible say he that lead into captivity is going into captivity. So white folks are eventually going to go into captivity. It's not so much they're going to go into captivity up under the hands of the Hebrews as much as them going in captivity up under the hands of this diabolical savage that comes from another dimension. That is the seed of the nephilim. Cloaked in skin like theirs, look like them. You understand what I'm saying? So, only thing we got is the scripture. Some of these things sound far-fetched. Sometimes it's going to seem like your brother has slipped off into science fiction. But at the end of the day, your whole life is science fiction. Every time you wake up, it's like a dream or a fairy tale. So, it is what it is. Take it, leave it, believe it, or don't. Peace out.